Hello you guys and welcome back to your favorite crochet channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to crochet the perfect granny square, or like the perfect granny square in my opinion, because I think I did maybe 1000 granny squares in my life now, and I changed my technique a lot of times and I am very happy right now. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to show you how I create this beauty. And after this video is online, I'm gonna start a little series maybe with what you can do with these granny squares. For those who follow me on my socials, you probably also saw my granny square balaclava tutorial coming soon. So yeah, enjoy the video and go send me pictures of your granny squares or whatever you did with them, and have a wonderful day. First things first, you're gonna grab your favorite yarn. I'm gonna use the hooked Echo Barwanta. I'm gonna link it in the description. It's a bit of a thicker cotton yarn and I love crocheting with it because it's a bit stiffer and also a bit thicker, so the granny squares do look a bit more chunky. So I can recommend this yarn, but you can use whatever yarn you want to use, and your matching hook. For me it's 5mm, but just have a look at your yarn and whatever hook feels right. And I'm gonna now show you how to do the start of the granny square. I'm gonna do 2 rows with each color, so we're gonna start with 2 rows of pink. Then I'm going to show you how to attach a new color, and we're going to do 2 rows with that. And after this, you probably already figured out how you can just add more rows and do granny squares as big as you want to. So it should look like this in the end. And yeah, I would say let's just start with the beginning of a granny square. So there are 2 ways to start a granny square. I usually do them with a magic ring, but right now I somehow like this version that I'm going to show you now better. So it's a bit easier. You're going to start with a slip knot. If you're not familiar with it, just mirror what I'm doing. Lay down your yarn like this. This is the beginning of your yarn, or the end. And you're going to place it right on top here. Now you're going to take your hook. You're going to go under this one. Hold this with your finger, but pull this one through, like this, and now hold this and pull it tight. And now you should be able to pull the knot to the top of your hook. Make sure it's loose enough. If it's already very tight, you can just pull at this other string and it should get a bit looser. So just take it so that you have like probably 1.5 of your hook of space, like this. So we're going to take the beginning of the yarn, put it on top, take your hook down there, hold this, take your yarn, pull it through, and like this. I hope it made sense. If not, there are also other detailed tutorials linked in the description. There are always some tricks and tips, like form a little pretzel or something. So if this was a bit too fast, go check the description. But now that you have this slip knot, you're going to chain up 3. So we're going to take the yarn, pull it through 1, 2, 3 times, and now we are going to connect this last chain up to your first chain up. This is going to create a little circle, and we always going to crochet into this circle. But if you do this, you will realize that it's sometimes very hard to find this perfect middle. So for me, I'm going to take a little marker and I'm just gonna slip it through right there, like this, so that you have it right on top of your chain ups, like this. And now I'm gonna connect my last stitch to this first one with a slip stitch, and you want to go right through this stitch. So on one side you should have only 1 yarn, and on the other side you should have this V part. Make sure that this is what it looks like on your hook. Now we're gonna take the yarn, slip it through this first loop and also through the second loop. This is your slip stitch. And now, as you can see, this is a very, very tight circle. So with this marker, you will easily find the middle part where you have to crochet like into. So before we're gonna do that, we're gonna chain up 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our start of a row every single time. So it's every time chaining up 4. And now we're going to crochet into this circle our first set of 3 double crochets. So take your yarn, go into the center, like right where your marker is, pull the yarn through, take the yarn and chain through, chain through. This is a double crochet. Again, take it through the loop, take your yarn, 1, 2, and your last double crochet always into the circle like this. So as you can see, these 3 double crochets are one set. And now, before we're going to start with the second set of 3 double crochets, we're going to chain up 2, 1, 2. Always going to do that. So now, again, take your yarn, and go crochet your next set of 3 double crochets into the circle. 1, 2, 3. Now you can already see where this is going. So this is always our corner, like the 2 chain ups. And this is one set, this is one set. So now we're going to do another set because, as you can see right here, in the center, 1, 2, 3, 4 sets, always in this first inner circle, first row. So we are going to chain up 2, 1, 2, and set our next 3 double crochets right into the center. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do our last set of double crochets, which means chaining up 2 again. And this time we're going to set only 2 double crochets because, as you can see, these 4 chain ups we did in the beginning, this is going to be your 3rd double crochet. It's going to count as your 3rd double crochet. Because if you do 3, this would be our 4th, so that wouldn't make any sense. And as you can see, this is a corner. So I'm going to take out my marker first, because this is a bit in the way right now. And now it's easy to see the center loop. So now I'm gonna do my 2 double crochets. 1, 2. And as you can see now, this is your 3rd of this set. Because this is one set, this is one set, this is one set. This is 2 and 1, so do a slip stitch right through this big hole, like this, to connect. So now, as you can see, this is a perfect square where you can't really see the beginning or the start. And now we're going to start with the next row, which means we're going to chain up 4 again. So chain up 1, 2, 3, 4, and the second row is going to look like this. So if you have a look at this, you can see here's your inner circle and here are your 4 sets of 3 double crochets that you just did. And this right here is this part. You know, this little big hole you have. And this is where you're going to set always 2 pairs of double crochets. Like 2 pairs of 3 double crochets in each of these corners. Just as a little explanation of what we are doing. So you did now your 4 chain ups, and now you're going to start with 3 double crochets right into this corner, right there. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to crochet our next set of 3 double crochets into this next loop. We're not going to do any chain ups now because we are not at the corner. So you can always remember we are just doing 2 chain ups between each set of 3 double crochets if we are at a corner. So now we're not going to do any chain ups, we're just going to go right into this big loop with a set of 3 double crochets like this. 1, 2, 3, like this. And now, because we are at this corner part, we're going to chain up 2 before going into this corner again with our next set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, this is what it should look like now. Your second row. So you have another corner right where your last corner was. And now we're going to go over to the next corner. And because we are right now not in a corner, you're not going to do any chain ups. You're just going to go right into this one with your set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now we again are in a corner, so chain up 2 and continue with another set of 3 double crochets in the same corner. 1, 2, 3. It should look like this. Now we're again gonna set our next 3 double crochets right into this corner without any chain ups in between. Just right away 3 double crochets like this. Now we again are in a corner, so chain up 2, 1, 2, and set your next pair of 3 double crochets in the same corner. So as always, 2 pairs of 3 double crochets in each corner. Now we're going to come to the end. It's a bit tricky, but don't worry, because now we are again not going to do any chain ups because we're not in a corner, but we're going to skip into this last corner. As you can see, you already have, again, because of your 4 chain ups in the beginning, you already have your last of the 3 double crochets. Like the last one of your pair of 3 double crochets, your last pair is already here. So you want to go for 2 double crochets right here. It's going to be a bit on top of the 4 chain ups, but don't worry. 2 double crochets, and now you will connect this chain up part to this pair of 3 double crochets again with a slip stitch. So right into this big loop, slip through, slip through. I can pull it apart a bit like this. And now you should have your perfect first 2 rows of this granny square. Next, I'm gonna add another color, so I'm gonna cut the yarn and slip it through. Oops, like this. Pull it tight. So as you can see now, these are your first 2 rows of your granny square, and I love this version of starting the row because you now can't really tell where I've started because you don't have a seam and all the corners are the same length. And just like that, we're gonna start with our next row, but we're gonna add a new color. So I'm gonna add white to this, and because this is where I've ended, I'm gonna start the new row here. This is always important because if you wanna make a seamless granny square with different colors, you don't start where you ended your granny square because it's hard to explain, but you will then be more likely to see where the end and the start is if you don't switch it up. So if this corner is where you ended your row and your color, you wanna start with a new color right here. So do another slip knot like this, take it off your hook, and now I'm gonna go into this corner where I want to start the row, take my slip knot, pull it through, and chain up 4 again. As always, 1, 2, 3, 4, because we're gonna start the next row. This is again going to be a bit different because as you can see, we have corners, but we also have these bigger loops, which are not corners. But don't worry, we're going to come to that later. Now, at your first corner, as always, take your yarn and go for your first set of 3 double crochets right into this corner. Corner 1, 1, 2, 3. Now we're not going to add any chains because we are going to go into this middle part and it's not a corner, so we don't need to create a corner. So now we're going to go into this hole of your second row with another set of 3 double crochets. It's just one set of 3 double crochets in this loop. So 1, 2, 3, like this. Now we're again are not at the corner, so we're not going to add any chain ups. We're going to go right into the second corner, like this space right here, with another set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And now we are at the corner, so we're going to add 2 chain ups to create the next corner and add into the same corner, the second corner, a set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Yay! So as you can see, it should kind of look like this. And now we're going to go right into this space again, this middle space of your second row. And for that, again, don't chain up anything, just go right into it with your set. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to go into this corner where we ended with the pink yarn. So just make sure to pull it tight again and crochet over this. So go right into this third corner space with your first set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Like this. You can pull it a bit. Always just pull them kind of in place like this. Now we are at the corner, so chain up 2 again, 1, 2, and add your next 3 double crochets into this same corner. So 1, 2, 3. Just like this. And we have our third corner set. Now we're going to go again into this middle part right there. Without chaining up anything, just set your next 3 double crochets right there. 1, 2, 3. Again, we're not at the corner, so you're just going to set your next 3 double crochets right into this corner. So you add your 1, 2, 3. Oops. Now we are at the corner, so chain up 2, 1, 2, and place another pair of 3 double crochets right into the same corner. I think you're gonna get it by now, but if you need a bit more guidance, I'm just gonna go along with you. So your last space in the middle with another pair of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And now we are again at the end of the row, which means if you have a closer look right here, you already have your last third double crochet of the pair. So you're gonna add, without chaining up anything, just 2 double crochets right here. 1, 2. And this is your third one, the chain up 4 part you did in the beginning. It's your third one to this set. So just go right into this loop with a slip stitch. And now, as you can see, it connects perfectly to the other 2, and it is a perfect pair of 3 double crochets. And the space right here is very closely similar or kind of the same to the other ones. So this is the third row. And now for the fourth, fifth, and sixth row, it is just going to be the same. So each beginning of the row, chain up 4. Then place your first set of 3 double crochets into the same corner that you did your 4 chain ups. Then you're always going to set 1 pair of 3 double crochets into each of those. You're not at the corner, so you're not going to do any chain ups before starting the next set. You're only going to do that when you arrive at the corner, because at the corner is where you're always putting 2 pairs of 3 double crochets. In between these 2 sets, you are going to do 2 chain ups to make sure that you have a corner in the next following row. So I want to show you here what it looks like if you continue. It will always be in each row 1 more of these pairs where you only have 1 pair. You know what I mean? And the corner is the only place where you're setting 2 sets of 3 double crochets with 2 chain ups in the middle. So only at corners you're gonna add 2 pairs into the same space. At these spaces you will always just do 1 set of 3 double crochets. And in each row you will have 1 more of these spaces. So as you can see here in this, what is it, row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have 3 of these spaces. 1, 2, 3. In the row down there, you have 2 of these spaces, like right here. It's the spaces in between the corners. So I hope this makes sense. You can continue however big you want to do your granny square. And just remember, if you want to start a new color, I would recommend personally to start in the opposite corner of where you ended. So for me, I'm gonna add another row with the white before closing it off. So this is my last double crochet. Now I'm, as always, going to connect it to this first chain ups we did with a slip stitch like this. Now I finished my row, so I'm going to cut off the excess yarn like this and gonna slip it right through. Pull it tight, and this is your perfect granny square. Yay! Now you can, if you want to, add another rows however you like and how many rows you like. For me, I'm fine with this, but if you want to, you can add new colors, new rows, whatever. For example, this is another pair of 2 rows added to this. It's just up to you what you need for your project, what you want to do. You can also use these as little cup holders for my leftover coffee or I don't know, whatever you want to. So just go creative with this, and yeah, that's it. I hope everything was understandable. So this was my tutorial on how to do these beautiful granny squares. I hope you like them, and I hope you're happy with your granny squares. And yeah, go send me pictures on my socials. Everything is linked in the description as always. And I hope to see you in the next video. And yeah, don't forget to spread some love in the comments, or yeah, wherever you want to. And now I hope you're having a wonderful rest of the day. Bye!